Thank you, Mr. Raja, my fellow panelists and distinguished participants and members of SAFIR. In view of the shortage of time, I'll be just presenting before you uh, highlights of the Delhi experiment of public-private partnership. It has been based on disinvestment of equity in the distribution business of Delhi, unlike the case of franchisee, which was being presented by my earlier colleague. Now, we have had lot of discussion on gas yesterday and today. And after hearing all this, it appears to me that everything is gaseous. And power sector also needs lot of gas, and there are problems in that. But I think we need to crystallize and concretize various ideas and challenges to tackle them. So I'll just be giving you the background, then brief highlights of. Initially, there was a Delhi electricity supply undertaking under the Municipal Corporation of Delhi since 1957. And only in 1997, this Delhi Vidyut Board was constituted. It was like a state electricity board. This DVB was India's largest urban utility till 2001 and 2 when this privatization took place. And it had a peak load at that time of around 3000 megawatt as compared to Calcutta and Bombay, which were much less. And the area of supply was also the largest urban utility. Now, I would like to spell out these factors. I mean, at the time of privatization or pre-privatization, these were the difficulties or the problems. There were high T&D losses, operating deficit, outdated and inefficient infrastructure, inefficient system of management and collection. So it was in this background that this reform was thought of to improve the situation. Now I'll skip some of the details. The reform process in the power sector was thought of by Delhi, and a strategy paper was issued in which these were the main features: setting up of a regulatory commission, unbundling of Delhi Vidyut Board into separate generation, transmission and distribution companies, and disinvestment of government stake in distribution activity. This was the main thing. And to meet the requirement of the union problem and labor problem, protection of staff interest was also included in this. Then certain policy directions were issued by Delhi government for unbundling and disinvestment. Now I'm skipping some of the slides just to save time, and also I don't want to go into the details of how the process of disinvestment or reform and all this took place. Now the basic thing was that this disinvestment was based on bidding on the basis of the AT&C losses. AT&C losses are aggregate technical and commercial losses, which include the technical losses in the transmission and distribution and theft of electricity, and also the revenue lost because of the collection inefficiency if the billing or the collection is not being done properly. So this is the aggregate thing. So it takes into account the power which is received and the power for which revenue is received. So bidding was done on the basis of this AT&C losses, and the transfer of shares of 51% share in the distribution business was done on the basis of face value. So the bidding was not on the basis of the transfer of shares. So for doing that, a trajectory for the reduction of AT&C losses during the next 5 years was given, and the initial opening level of the AT&C losses was fixed. So this is the initial level of AT&C losses which was fixed. The whole of area of the Delhi was divided into 3 parts, and separate bidding was done for the 3 geographical areas. So these were the loss levels: 57%, 48%, and 48% in the 3 areas. Then transmission and generation companies were set up, but those were totally owned by the Delhi government, so no privatization was done. Now this is the 3 geographical areas: this north, south and west, and then east. So these are the 3 areas, and NDMC is a very small area that has been kept apart, so that is being managed by the NDMC. Now this is the progress of the AT&C losses trajectory. July 2002 was the date when this transfer took place, and the opening losses were 48, 57, and 48 for the 3 areas, and the targets fixed for the next 5 years and the achievement against those is given in this table here. And as can be seen, the targets were achieved and the loss reduction has actually taken place. This is the graphical representation of the same table. Now this is the capital investment which has been made by the private companies which have taken over, and during these 5 years the total investment made is about more than 4,000 crore of rupees, and this has resulted in actually during the time of DVB, Delhi government had to bear a lot of all the losses, and there was some accumulated loss of about 12,000 crore rupees which was borne by the Delhi government. So after this, Delhi government has saved the recurring losses to that extent, and also the capital investment is being made by these private companies. Now this is multi-year tariff regime, how the tariff is fixed and all this, I will skip this portion. Now this is the progress of the AT&C losses during the next 5 years. So now you can see for the 11-12 the targets of AT&C losses have been fixed at 15, 18 and 13%. So it started from 57% and 48%, and now the losses have come down. So this is a success story to this extent that capital investment has been made by the private companies and the AT&C losses have been reduced from the more than 50% level to, it has come down to around that 13, 15 and 18%. This is the graphic representation. This is the capital investment. This is also around 4,000 crore which has been made from the next 5 years, 2007 to 2012. Now this is a consumer satisfaction survey was done in Delhi. Because there used to be a lot of power cuts, the reliability of power supply was not there, and now after this 10 years of experience of the public-private partnership, there is no power cut in Delhi. We are power surplus. Earlier there are problems of power surplus also. I will come when I discuss the challenges. So this consumer satisfaction survey was done, and this was the outcome of the survey which was done in 2007, then in 2009. So overall it is about 0.6%. This gives the power supply position, the peak demand and peak met for Delhi as a whole. So the deficit at the peak hours has been coming down consistently, and it is almost negligible now. At the level of 5,000 megawatt, we almost meet it. This is the This is the energy requirement. So I'll just wind up by mentioning about a few challenges that we have to meet. So far, it has been a success story. The power situation has improved. The reliability, quality of supply, etc., has been very good. But these tariff reforms and the cost reflective tariffs are the need of the time. Because in case of other states where there is no privatization, even after unbundling, all the distribution, generation and transmission companies are government companies. And there are states where there have not been any tariff revision for last 5 to 10 years. And this is resulting in lot of losses, and there are huge accumulated losses. But in spite of that, these companies are able to sustain and survive because of the government support or government guarantee, or they are able to get borrowings from banks on the basis of government guarantee. But that situation cannot be envisaged in the case of this kind of private partnership. So, and even otherwise also, we have to have tariff reforms and realistic tariffs. But somehow, this tariff reform is not purely a question of economics. In the situation or the environment in which we are working, there has to be a proper, apart from the economics, there has to be a proper political and social environment, because somehow the consumers and the general public, they are not ready to accept the market driven prices or tariff to get a good supply. So although in case of unregulated goods like food and vegetables or FMCG or any other goods or milk or even petrol, diesel and other things, there are regular hikes in the rates or the market price. But in case of electricity, whenever there is a tariff hike or there is a proposal to hike the tariff, there is a public opposition, lot of resistance or even agitation. In Delhi, when the tariff was raised by 10% 5 years ago, there was a public agitation and there was a staging of dharna in front of the office of the Regulatory Commission. And for next 5 years, there was no revision of tariff, which has resulted into accumulation of regulatory assets to the extent of 6,000 crores. Now this overhang, this has to be met, otherwise I mean it affects the cash flow and the sustainability of the system. So after 5 years, we have made around 21% tariff hike this year. Now some opposition or resistance is going on the consumers level or the activist public level and even on political level, which we have to face. Now how the coal prices, the gas prices as was discussed here are rising, and the power production cost or power purchase cost, which is the main input, has been increasing. It has become double during last 4 or 5 years. So the biggest challenge is how to control the power generation cost, or if whatever is the market price or generation price, how to cover it within the tariff and how to make it acceptable by the public. So these are some of the challenges which we have to meet in future. Thank you very much.